Hi everyone. So in this session I'll be covering a very unique concept in Python, that is list comprehension. List comprehension is nothing but creating a new list out of an existing list based upon certain condition. Okay. So I'll just walk you through one example that will make things clear. So say for example I have this list L1 Li rather, which has number from 1 till 8. And out of this list, Li, we have to create a new list that holds only the even numbers. Okay. So a traditional way of achieving this is to say create a new list, Li new, sorry, Li new empty list, and we'll iterate through this original list Li. For each value of x, I will check if it is divisible by 2 or not. So basically percentile is a operator that is used to calculate the remainders. This if you're not aware of this, you can go through the operator session that I have uploaded earlier. Okay, so here in this scenario I am subjecting this x to uh, this division by 2 and checking if the remainder turns out to be 0 or not. So if the remainder is 0, that means that this x or the value that is there in this li is even. And if it is not equal to 0, then definitely it is odd. So we are going to filter that part out. So here what I'll do, since it is divisible, since the x is divisible by 2 completely, I'll append that x into the empty list that I just initialized here. Okay, initialized here. Now I will append x to this, and that's it. Yeah. Now it's pretty simple to understand, and we achieved what we wanted to achieve. So this basically hold all the even numbers as is from this li list. Now there's a shorter way of doing this. Okay, this is more of a traditional approach, but that there's a shorter way definitely in Python, which is known as list comprehension. So now my target is to achieve the same thing through list comprehension. Please look at the syntax very closely. So everything in list comprehension, or whatever things that we'll write, would be enclosed in these square brackets. Okay. So basically, if you want to understand it in a in a certain way, I'll say that whatever the output of this result would be put into these square brackets, making it a list. Okay, and which we are then putting pushing it to this empty list that we created, li underscore new. Okay, it's not empty anymore. So best way to handle this is that I clear this li new. This has also been covered in my just previous section where I walked through different functions, different constructs that we have in list data type. Okay, so what I'll now, if I'll print li underscore new, you'll see it's empty. And now I am going to fill in data through list comprehension. So everything, as I said, should be in a square brackets. And what we are going to put? A variable. What and how we are going to calculate that variable? Through a certain expression. So let's say the variable that we want to push is x. And how this x is calculated? So x is nothing but an iterator which iterates through our iterable, that is li, which is this original list. Okay, so what this would do is that it will just uh, read through every single value, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and that value is pushed into x. But and if we keep the code like this, it will just copy all the values into our li underscore new list. But that is not what we have to achieve. We have to check that for each value whether it is divisible by 2 completely or not. So that condition is what we are going to put in here. X percentile 2 is equal to 0. So what is happening for every single value? For every single value in the list, we are iterating through and checking if that particular value is divisible by 2 or not. If it is so, then this that value would be pushed into this li underscore new list, or else it would be dropped. Okay, if I press enter against this and try to print li underscore new again, it will show us the same result as we got previously. Okay, so basically we have achieved all the, we can see all the even numbers here. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now say, this is how we are filtering the values. Okay, this is how we are filtering the values. Now say we have a scenario wherein the list remains the same. It's just that we have to replace these numbers with true or false depending upon the divisibility of the value, or rather, if the number is even, I want to print true at the same location, and if it is odd, so I have to print false at that location. Okay, so it's something same. It would also have these many data values, only it would be either false or true depending upon its uh, depending upon the data being even or odd. Okay, so how will I achieve this? I'll say li underscore new. I'll clear that again, all over again, making it blank. I'll again start a list comprehension. I'll put it in square brackets. What would be the output? Say a variable. No, this time it won't be a variable. This time it would be true if the variable is 100% divided by 2. Else it would be false. And how are we fetch? And what is this variable? This is basically each data value in the original list. So for x in li, if I print this, I'll say, let's see, false and true against individual data values. So as you can see, one is not a even number. It shows, so in that particular position we have false. Two is an even number, we have true, and so on and so forth. So in first scenario here, if we put a condition after the for loop, okay, we end up filtering the data. Okay, whereas if we put this if condition before the for loop, that won't filter the data, that would rather manipulate the outcome. Okay, so instead of printing the value of x, we are actually printing true or false after checking if the x, if the value that would be there in x is 100% divisible by 2 or not. Okay, I hope that is clear, right? And for people who are pretty new to this and are not able to understand how I am iterating through any of the list, like how am I navigating through this whole list. So what happens is that we have a for loop, right? What the very essence of for loop is to iterate through or run a iteration through a certain iterable. Okay, so if you go through my for my loop session, you will see range being used as the iterable, whereas here it would be a list. So if I'll choose a iterator, any random variable, say I, and what I is going to go through, it is going to go through this list. Okay, that is li, and for each iteration I want I to be printed. Very simple, right? If I press enter, you see that is exactly what is happening. For every single value in the list, I is going there, fetching that value and printing it on the screen. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 exactly matches to the values in a list. Okay, so this is how we loop through our list, or any iterable for that matter. We can also use while loop here. So yeah, so if you have any confusion how would we use a while loop, please comment. I'll just create a separate session on that. So for now, that is it. Thank you. Thanks a lot.